What the hell is this? The dot over the I. The hell is that?
Okay, how do I explain this concisely? This is Tuesdays, and also July.
And sometimes it's never.
That's true. Occasionally, that moment on the Bear Me timeline is the time moment when nothing never occurs. So, you get it.
This broke me.
In the first episode of Better Late Than Never, I talked about sitcoms and my appreciation for the ones with a more mundane premise. Shows like The Office, Seinfeld, Friends, and Community are sitcoms that, on a premise level, lack any grandeur or excitement. Instead, the selling points of those shows lie within the characters and their relationships. Now, we all have favorite characters and moments that keep us coming back to the shows.
Look at me! I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
But what if there's a sitcom that had memorable characters, extremely clever writing, and an interesting premise? I present to you NBC's The Good Place is a sitcom that ran for 4 seasons between the years 2016 and 2020, with his last season wrapping up this past January. The series was created by Michael Schur, who has crafted, or helped with, some other sitcoms that you've probably heard about before.
Because you're both losers.
There it is.
None of you stand a chance against me.
You remember my cousin Mose?
Welcome, children.
Were you painting in the dark?
The premise of The Good Place is rather interesting, because instead of being your typical sitcom setting of something regular, it exists far outside that realm. The setting of The Good Place is a neighborhood in the afterlife created for those who did good and kind things in their life. There's a whole point system that measures your ability to exist within the good place or the bad place. Now, the main cast consists of 6 characters: Eleanor Shellstrop, Chidi Anagonye, Tahani Al-Jamil, Jason Mendoza, the coolest version of Siri you could imagine, Janet, and the architect behind the neighborhood, Michael. Now, before we dive deeper into the show and whether or not it's worth watching, I want to hit you guys with a little bit of a spoiler warning. I'll be primarily discussing the events of Season 1, and there might be a few spoilers along the way. Nothing too serious, but still. Warning. Alright, so the writing on the show is clever, like really, really clever, and the twists and turns it takes the audience through the entire series are really entertaining. There's a lot of little things dropped into the show at various times that seem insignificant at first, but they end up playing major roles later on. One of the clever elements of the show is its use of ethics and philosophy. In fact, that's one of the driving plots of the show. Can you teach someone to be good?
It's like, who died and left Aristotle in charge of ethics?
Plato.
The 2 primary philosophies talked about in the show are utilitarianism and deontology, and they both have that general focus of becoming a better person, ethics. Which, as I said, ties into the driving plot of the show, because Eleanor Shellstrop isn't a good person, or at least she wasn't before she died, and you get to see how she was pre-death through several different flashback sequences, and boy, it was not pretty.
Hey, name's in the hat. Time to pick a designated driver. And the loser is... Betsy.
Wait, you never get picked and you're always the one who draws the name. Let me see that.
There's no need. Everyone here believes in my integrity 100%. Right, guys?
Give it to me.
Let's step back a bit before we go further into the characters and talk about the neighborhood and the good place itself. The good place, as priorly mentioned, is an afterlife scenario that only takes the top % of human beings. And the people in this percentage are qualified through a point system. And what's interesting is the fact that every single action taken in one's life counts towards this system. So things like singing to a child or overstating your connection to a tragedy influence where you end up in the afterlife. It's a highly selective system where only
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And the neighborhood? Well, the neighborhood is paradise. Like a meticulously constructed place that adheres to every person's utmost desire type of paradise. Dream homes, soulmates, fun activities like flying, a lot of frozen yogurt, and so much more. There's an infinite database of information 3D printer woman named Janet who can tell you or get you just about anything you need.
Everything okay?
Nope.
The character development in The Good Place is really, really good. Each member of the main cast evolves past the shell that they're introduced to in the first episodes, which is a fantastic plus for the show, because usually in a sitcom, there's only 1 or 2 notable characters with significant development. Chandler and Friends, April in Parks and Rec, Mac and Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's why when the entire main cast sees significant development over the course of the 4 seasons, it's a really special thing. The Good Place isn't a perfect show. but it's pretty close to one, as there are a lot of enjoyable elements for any and all watching it. Some of the jokes might not land sometimes, and you might not love every character that dances across the screen, but I assure you, this is a show worth watching. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Have a great rest of your day.